This
Once the
conference will now be recorded.
Hello.
And welcome to the first in a series of In Conversation. My name is Phil Jackman and I lead on CyberNorth, Digital Durham's cybersecurity cluster. We're working with our colleagues across the region to position the Northeast as a great place to deliver cybersecurity services. I'm here today with Tom Fairfax, my good friend from SRM, Security Risk Management. How are you, Tom?
Good, thanks. How's things, Phil?
Yeah, not too bad in this crazy situation. So let's start off, Tom, with tell us a bit about yourself and SRM.
Well, SRM, we're a boutique information security consultancy. Our clients come to us when they've had a security breach or problem, when they want to test their security, or when they want to make their systems safe and or to demonstrate that they are safe. I've been working with information security for about 30 years. We're a payment card industry PCI assessor, and one of a few, I think there's several PCI forensic investigators operating in Europe. This means that when people have a security breach or payment card breach, our forensics and incident response team will help them understand the problem and get them up and running again. We do lots of business continuity planning as well, particularly relevant at the moment.
Yes, I bet it is. So how is your business? How has SRM been coping in these difficult times?
Well, I think it's challenging for everybody. We've essentially invoked our business continuity plan, which is something we exercise on a regular basis, which has been useful. It's been a protracted deployment, so it's been really useful. We've learned one or two things and rejigged one or two things. Much of our work can be carried out remotely, where our clients are able to work with us. So we're pretty suited to remote working.
So have you found a lot of your clients have been ready in terms of business continuity?
Some have, some haven't. I think we've all learned things about our business continuity plans. I think most of us were geared for a shorter term incident. And so the protracted nature of this has, I think, been instructive. But I think this is one of the really useful things, if you like, the silver linings that comes out of this particular cloud. And certainly from our point of view, we've deployed a number of distributed technical packs of kit around the country. So we've got people in remote labs who can do work, and having a distributed model means that we can keep our people safe, but also if people do, God forbid, get an infection, it means that it doesn't spread within the team. So we've got other people who can help our clients out.
So are all your staff working from, all your people working from home now?
Yes, we're cycling. We have a small core team cycling through the core office, because there are some tasks that need to be done from the office due to the security nature of the client's requirements. But for the vast majority of it, people can work from either remote or home offices, which is good.
Excellent. So I understand, though, that you've also been appointed High Sheriff of Northumberland. So that sounds very exciting. What does that entail?
Well, it's a great privilege. The High Sheriff is appointed for the year. It's the oldest secular office under the Crown. The first High Sheriff of Northumberland was appointed in 1076. Though some counties have got an even older tradition. Originally, the office was responsible for maintenance of law and order within the county and the collection of taxes for the Crown, as I think demonstrated very effectively by the Sheriff of Nottingham. nowadays, most of these core responsibilities have been transferred to other agencies. So what we do is we are responsible for supporting the criminal justice community and the emergency services within the county. In Northumberland, we also raised some funds, the High Sheriffs, in conjunction with the Tyne and Wear and Northumberland Community Forum. And we run a Youth Against Crime award scheme, which enables us to support a number of organizations and voluntary groups who provide services to keep young people on the straight and narrow.
So the position goes right back to the Normans then, and that's a very long tradition.
And in some counties through to the Saxons. But
Right,
I
excellent. a great sense of tradition then on your shoulders.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the business model has changed somewhat, and exciting. Whilst we're in difficult times at the moment, of course, the business model's changing rapidly this year. Normally, we spend a lot of time visiting groups and are providing moral support and shining a light on the people who are working behind the scenes to do stuff. Clearly, this year we can't do that so much. So one of the things that we are very much doing is building a remote engagement model, which is quite exciting, quite challenging at times.
But yeah, so you and I, when we've been talking in the past, you've got a very strong focus, I think, on helping voluntary groups and vulnerable people. How are they affected by cybersecurity or the cyber threat these days?
Well, it's an interesting one. And voluntary groups are no safer than the rest of us. One of the things I think that's really interesting at the moment is that because we're all developing a home working model, we're having to do things in a different way. It's sometimes difficult that, and it's challenging. For those of us who are used to working from home or working remotely, we know that there is there's a different discipline required, personal discipline, and a different working model. Where people have been used to working as a group and working as a team, sometimes it's difficult to make that change and to make that shift into a new model. I think particularly one of the things is that is context. One feels safe when one's at home. Of course, when one's operating in the cyber environment, we are working in conjunction with we're directly exposed to a number of people worldwide who are seeking to compromise us. So we have this challenge whereby we feel safe, but we may be exposed. And that means that we can do some risky things and we can do some silly things. And those are the things that expose us to threat. So one of the things we are trying to do is work with people, make sure they understand the threat, make sure that they are at risk, and make sure they're operating safely.
So there's a significant or a good crossover between your work at the High Sheriff and your work with SRM.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wherever we are, we're in the business of trying to keep people safe and trying to help people keep themselves safe, because really that's what it's about, is enabling people to operate in a safer way.
Excellent. So what's your focus right now in today's? What are you thinking of?
Well, at the moment, I think it's all about resilience and sustainability. Most of us have managed to shake out an operating model, whether it be those who are on furlough or those who are working from home. And we've probably, over the last couple of weeks, managed to learn a few things, sort out a new operational rhythm. Of course, we don't know, and at the time of recording this, we're still waiting to find out what the government's latest set of advice is. I think the smart one is on the fact that we're going to be doing at least another 3 weeks at least of and it could be 3 months.
Yes, it could.
My instinct is we're going to be in and out of this for the next 6 months. And so actually what we've got to do, all of us, is establish operating models that are going to be flexible, that are going to enable us to come in and come out, to sort the situation that comes towards us, and deal with anything. In a funny sort of way, that's quite enabling, because if we're ready for anything, then it doesn't matter what the future throws at us. But it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's nothing that we can't deal with.
Indeed. So that leads me nicely on to my last question for you, Tom, if you don't mind. And that's what's the first thing you're going to do once lockdown is over?
Very good question. Well, what I want to do is go and speak to a lot of these people in person, who I've been engaging with remotely and over the internet. I've been speaking to lots of fascinating people and lots of fascinating groups, but I want to get out there and see them in person.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for that, Tom. That was great. I'd also like to thank Robert Campbell, my good friend Commet, who's been working behind the scenes to help this happen. Please look out for the next in the series. We're going to try and do these weekly. And if you're interested in taking part, please get in touch. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Robert. Goodbye.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Rob.
This conference will now be recorded.